Okay, so first thing is let's think about where the market is going, right? If we know where the market is going, we will know how to trade next week, right? Not all perfectly, but to some degree. One key thing is the last class, let me bring this up. The last class I introduced something about Bro Roy 714, right? He came up with 714. We've been using the 5-8 forever. Remember 714, right? The first signal of a reversal, confirmation reversal, and we got this on Friday, right? 7 is greater than 15. So the next step is what? The 5-8 crossover, right? 5-8 crossover. And let's use this for example. So that this one crosses over, this one still over. So this one cross over like right here, right? And you can kind of tell. And then the period before, let me see. Let me see if I can change the host of okay. There you go. All right. Let me see if I can. All right. If there's somebody in the waiting room, let me know. All right. So the first thing is this. We know that this is a bullish candle. There's no doubt, right? And there's actually like a couple scenarios when you think about this. If we get 407, I'm gonna say 408 close or better this week by Friday, you can expect all the way to maybe about 418, 420. Like it's gonna really just because that the next week is real important. Right. And one key thing is I gave you guys a monthly target. And the reason why I use 407, 408 is let me go over here. This candle is expected to be bearish. Did it go beneath the body? Sort of the answer is yes. Right. So that one qualifies saying that, look, it did go beneath that body. The drawback is this is still in a perfect form. Now, once the 7-5 crossover right here, you can kind of tell how tight it is. Look at this, right? Once it crosses, we're in a bull market, guys, for the rest of the year. Just keep in mind, we're in a bull market. In a bull market, it moves like a snail. So some things we're going to have to start swinging like monthly options and stuff like that, like swinging like for 3, 4 days, right? For possibly like maybe like how we in a the volatility is gone. So to swing longer. All right. So kind of keep that in mind. As far as the weekly candle, this is one of the classes this. So let me draw out the possibilities. And we're going to kind of talk more about it, the green candle later on and what is the best how to trade this. Back then when I would start kind of like exposing the candles, I was like, oh, that this is expected to go up. I never know how, right? So let's draw a couple. Let's draw a couple. We're going to talk about the SPY. We're still talking about the SPY, and that's why I said if the body ends right here, green, by the end of the week, you have to make the assumptions that the next week is going to be a monster week. Right here, I'm letting you guys know this. Remember, green, either green. If this does, it's like this: green, green, bam. Just FYI, and we'll be all the way up here at this link right here. So this link target is about market right here. 425 is a possibility this month if we get 407. Just FYI. Everybody understand that. This is very important. Now, what's going to happen is you see this green candle in a bullish run. What does this mean? It means that for it to be bullish, Friday, the net of Thursday and Friday will always be green the next 3 consecutive weeks. Friday was green, Friday, sort of, right? In an uptrend. Think about this. When you see this top on the weekly, that means that Friday is a green Friday, right here. Friday is a green Friday. Friday is a green Friday, right? So the next one, what we're going to draw is this. What are the scenarios, possible pullback areas for this candle? Well, it can pull back right here at the body, somewhere overlapping the wick, form a hammer, small one. Remember, this is nothing big going on this week, right? Like right there. Almost identical. What can happen next week? Another one, same thing, all the way here, right? 3 white soldiers, and boom. Yeah. And this is the why I said that we're gonna have to consider like now the next that's a possibility right here. Boom, all the way here. 430 is the bull market number. 430, just FYI. But if you want to be technical, more precise about 427, 428. If you ever get that high, you have to know that you definitely want to switch your 401k. Everybody that has 401k that I asked you guys back then to switch back and forth, right? I asked a couple of group members to be on defensive for March, just in case. And the funny thing about it is I think the only person that there's only think two people that did it, and both of them were Indians. That say, hey, look, bro, Leg says I'm doing it, I'm right. So we switched to back and forth on guys. The more you know with trading, and the more you can understand how to switch your investments. Do you know that your ability to maximize your 401k? Everybody's aware of that. You guys are aware of that. If you know how to rinse and know when to like put your 401k in defense mode, like, okay, you know what? This next month is a pullback month. Now, and key thing I want you guys to remember too, in a bull market, in a bull market, um, the pullback is usually kind of extend from month to another month. I was observing this, and we did start to kind of the pull down, and it's already been a month. Now, April could be like a month to month. I don't know if this is the tax harvesting part of what I would call tax harvesting part of Q1. Now, let's go back to the weekly. This is a possible setup, right? So, what's another possible setup? Okay. Now, I'm not talking about the following week. We're just going to do this week for simplicity. Early week strength followed by end of the week weakness. Early week strength, remember, followed by in the early week would be kind of like hitting 407, 408, top off right there, all the way fade back to 399, roughly at that square body. Everybody's aware of that. Remember, this is a scenario. And then this would lead the bearish case for the following month with this in play, this little square area in play for the following week. That's why I said someone was asking me, bro, like, are we getting a honestly, um, I'm right now I'm assuming that I thought about this morning. I thought about a lot of different scenarios. We're right in the middle of a range. Anything under 400 is bearish. Anything over 408, you have to be bullish. Just keep it simplified like that. Over 408, you kind of start increasing and stepping on the pedal. Now we get anything over 430. You guys know all we do is rolling over, maybe SPY calls monthly or whatever. We'll be rolling it over. All right, make sense? Or Apple or whatever, and also a combination of day trades. As long as this candle doesn't appear by the end of Friday, right here, right, this candle, I'm going to assume that right now this is probably going to run sort of some kind of consolidation into the CPI FOMC, and then this will be the catalyst, the breakout catalyst. If power, now one key thing, what I was looking at the bear market. Remember, each bear market average length lasts 330 days. So what 330 days. I think that there is reported calendar days. I'm not sure, or trading days. I'm not sure about that one. So let's assume that it's a calendar day. May would make it 365 days. So we are in range of a possible lift off, right? We have several macro catalysts that can really change the tides of the market. China tension, right? The tension with U.S. and China is always kind of with every presidency. Now, the second thing that we have to kind of keep in mind is we also have the Russian war. Russian war. Think about it. If Russian war ends right now, that would be like what 3% at least, and then an additional maybe 2-3% in the spy. We're talking about like a 12 to 20 point move. So keep that in mind. And if the rallies, if it's going to rally out, I think that this one's going to run for at least a week, a month and a half, 6 weeks, 6 week rally. And then after that, it kind of settle. It's going to pull back, right? Correct itself a little bit, rebalance what it just did, right? It ran sort of from here, correct, gap up, correct, sort of like this. All right. And let me know if anybody's confused or anything. I'm not trying to confuse you guys, right? So it's going to run up like that and then pull back a little bit, pop up again. Now, as far as this, I'm trying to keep it simple. I left my analysis in the daily analysis. Right now, I'm just going to be humble with the target. This can also be a sideways green hammer right here. You can stack up another green hammer, trade within range. Right. Remember, this week there's nothing spectacular going on this week. Just kind of FYI. All right. Anybody have any questions? Now, as far as the safest tickers to kind of go in, right? Um, let me see. I like this a lot. I'm probably gonna maybe go a little bit more original. I just wanted to buy a couple for the ER play. This is a gap down bullish engulfing right here into JD's ER play. Now, I would recommend you guys buying a month out, 1 month out into the, just FYI. Now, the key thing is this, and this is the ugly thing about it. We know that gap. I'm going to be honest. We know that gap down bullish engulfing has a 90 is an LTB play, right? And I don't. The last thing I want you guys to say, hey, look, we're going to LTB into this. I won't LTB in this, but I might put something where I can average down, work on it, buy it, fall out. The IV doesn't kill me, but if their thing is good, right? And we're looking at the weekly, it really can go all the way to right here, the 50 EMA, if the ER, right here, all the way to the 50, about 54, 55. That's about $8 move. Uh, remember, that's the max. Remember, now we do the min target. The min target on here, 52.50. JD has a chance to go at least 12% this week. JD, well, what, like 4.8, 4.8. Yeah, about 10%. 10% move in JD. But remember, once it does this, it holds for continuation all the way up to next week too. So just kind of keep that in mind. If their ER is good, market is still expected to be bullish, I would kind of swing that longer. This thing could probably travel all the way, and it's not impossible to go all the way back to 60. It was 160, still oversold. Look at this, right? It hasn't curled up yet. So you can assume that we're right, right here in the process could be. And then the next three will be a couple weeks green candle. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Now, my second trade that I'll be kind of looking at for this week is Google. Right. Now, remember, Google got beaten down the worst first. This is a bullish engulfer, no doubt. The next area now, remember, Google can move while the market runs sideways, just FYI. And we know that remember when I teach you guys the patterns, right? I'm gonna do that class again, but remember, anything that has, let me show you, most cases, anything that legs up like that, settles, right? It'll always go at minimum here, and then it'll test here, and then maybe sideways. Give me 1 second. Maybe sideways a little bit, and then break out. This is Google. Now Google, I put 103.50, right? I put 103.50. It's not going to run $10 this week unless you know, something really happened, like, crazy. Now keep in mind, the 103 is right here. Now, generally, this candle, and we're going to talk about forecasting on the next one.
Sí.
I would say that, right now about 96. 96 is almost like a give me in Google, but I would prefer to see if I can get back in Google 92.50, 92.50, and I'll take it. I don't know if it'll pull back
Ajá.
that low, like half the engulfing. 1 second. I don't know if it'll pull back half an engulfing, but at least within, I know, remember, if we're in a bull market, I'm gonna say that I see 99 within 2 weeks. Google 99. I'm not going to say 1 week because it's going to get harder to time some of these plays right here. Right. So Google's quite, and then you can also look at the inverse of Google, right? How did I teach you guys? When we trade, before we buy, look at the candle setup. Does this look good? Everybody, right? It does look good. How low can it go? Okay, let's draw this. Right here, it can go all the way to right here, 2606. So I'm about to mark this number right here, 2606, the first area of support, right? 2606. Okay. Now, where is 2606 on here? Good question. Right, about right here. I'm gonna, like right there, about 9638. Makes sense. So I'm gonna put 9638 right here. Mini resistance, right? 9630. Let's put 35, and I'm gonna put mini R. or mini resistance. All right, not a heavy one. All right, but it can happen. Right, and I'll put that in the middle. Right, I mean, I know that I can't lose money on Google this week. This week. So one key thing is we want to position ourselves, like especially when we're trading options, and we don't get shaken out. Trinity, how that's a good question. This is the mirror version, and this is the first area that at min the candle is going to drop. So it doesn't matter how it drops. It can start right here, pull down right here, maybe wick right here. This is a possibility. And if it's a green, you lock your profit. If it's a red candle, you continue the hold. This is a weekly view, so this is a weekly target. Does it make sense? Now, if this is in play, then you know that now Google can drop all the way to here, guys, no doubt, on a bullish market. Now, remember, these candles are inverses of right, and this is right where, but right here, this will be 103, the 103 I gave you guys. If you see, if it drops all the way here, it's 103, right? And let's mark this number, right? Let's mark this number as, let's say, about 2480. So 2480 is 103 Google. Okay, is 103 Google. Just keep it that simple. Does it make sense? So one key thing is we want to look at the opposite way, guys. The opposite way of things to look at things, right? We want to look at it more than one angle. What else can we check to confirm this? Okay, let's look at SQQQ, where Google's in, right? Google's in here. Is this bearish? Yes. We know that this candle generally makes a lower low, right? And you can kind of say mark this area right here, the min target, min pullback. It could go more, but right now, let's put 35, 35. So I know that this has to go down, right? 35. I know Google has to go up, right? So you feel at least saying that, hey, look, I know that I can get $1 off of Google. I know $2, whatever. 35, 35. Anybody have any questions? And guys, remember to ask questions, guys. We're a small group now, guys. When people, you guys know, those who follow me for years, I'm not bringing like the most of the majority of people, but remember when the group grows, it's going to be harder for you guys to ask me the questions that you need to ask. Right? Some of you guys been with me when the group was thousands. Remember that. Right? I'm just saying. So just kind of keep that in mind. Ask the questions that you need to ask now. So Google's one because why? And the reason why was I'm not going to spit out too many tickers for you guys. And we're going to talk when we roll over the candle. We're going to talk about what can come after each candle, what kind of candle that I like to choose now moving forward. Google's in QQQ. Google's a part of QQQ also. So if QQQ goes up, then Google will go up, right? Most likely, right? It's like a magnet, right? Would you want to fade Google when you're expecting market to go up? Yeah. So and Google is beaten down, right? So we know that Google is beaten down. So the next one, let's talk about the next one, Microsoft, right? Let's look at MSFFD first, the backward way. So Microsoft right now, I'm gonna clear this out.
No.
All right. Now we know that this one is a bearish combination. First test is where let me look and I look. So I thought that it was going to travel all the way up here, and it could. Don't get me wrong. Now the first thing is we could have made so much money on this one, guys. Right? We had we call this way out. We caught the right. We had 270, 265, 255, 250 puts. And we could have really, if we swung it all, I know that, people get kind of anxious, like kind of a little anxious and nervous. We swung it all, even the 250 puts would have been in the money. All right. So now, usually with those kind of plays, I always kind of say, hey, look, guys, just hold a runner or two. If you hold every runner, just one, right, all the way, I think that it'll probably yield you an extra 30, 40K per year. You guys know I'm a bottom caller or a top caller. That's it. Right? How many 100% plays did we have last week? The ones that wasn't 100% could have run to 100%. Absolutely. Think about it. So, okay, I'm gonna clear this out. We're gonna do this like from scratch, right? We know that this is where's the next area? Okay. Now I'm going to be humble with the target, right? I'm gonna mark it right here, saying that look, at
No. No.
at minimum, right? That it has to go where? About right here. You see it? So about 20, let's do 23.40, right? This is the minimum right now. Nothing crazy, right? So what can I do with this? The break of this, I can day trade Microsoft. Can I not? The break
No.
of this, remember this is backward. I can day trade Microsoft all the way to 22.60 or swing. 22.60 break of and 22.60. And for those that don't understand, right, even though it's a dollar move, even though this is a dollar move, remember, 1% is what, 23 cents? Wait, 10% is $2.35. Let's round to $2.35. This is almost like a 90 cents drop, right? Remember, $2.30, 90-cent drop. This is saying Microsoft can probably go up another 3-4% if this breaks, just for the week, right? 3% roughly. So we can kind of do the math. Let's do the math real quick, right? So that we take it at the break of 23.40 minus 22.60, right? Divided by 22.60. Microsoft can move up at least 3.5% at around that range, 3%. So let's kind of put this in Microsoft perspective, right? Right now we look at the real version. I'll show you calculator. Right.
Mhm.
So let me so Microsoft right now 1.6%. So it can go up to Microsoft going to move at least $7 to $8 this week. Just FYI. And where's $7 to $8 on Microsoft, right? Is it at a what? And I would mark the resistance area conference. Look at this. I had look what I had. Buy the pullback at, and I didn't alert this to you guys. I didn't much take it. Buy the pullback at 244. Take it to 251. That was the play. Buy the
Jeez.
pullback at 244. Take it to 251. Now we know that what's the next area equivalent, right? About 267 and 263 is the next areas for Microsoft, right? So I'm gonna mark this. Remember, it's equivalent. Right? I'm gonna close this out. Next area is right. Let's do right here about 257. Break of 257.64. Break 257.64. Now let's do 260. Right. We want to under a little bit, so we want kind of like right. And then you can do a mini one right here, 263, about 263.43. Up to that link. So it's 263. And I'm just gonna move to lower this so I don't get kind of arrogant, but trying to hold it all the way. About two. All right. So anybody have any questions? I'm letting you guys know those are my 3 plays that I'm gonna make my plan this week, at least. So it's a matter of like, now I'm also gonna day trade, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about day trade further in. Anybody have any questions before we roll into the next topic? I'll just read my stuff throughout the day. It's informative, sort of, and what I'm looking at, what areas. Somebody was asking me, bro, leg, could you speak in normal terms? Okay, Friday, 407 greater, you're bullish next week. Under 400, be bearish next week. That's the best way I can tell you guys. Over
Gotcha.
right, early. Do we have a continued end of the week strength, right? Or we have end of the week weakness, right? That's the key thing. That would determine the following week startup, right? It's like a 4-legged race, right? One person runs and they just kind of pass the baton over, right? Anybody have any questions? All right, guys. So we're going to take a quick break. The next class is going to be candles. All right. And for simplicity, I'm going to use the SPY. All we're going to talk about in this class is what are the next type of the common type of a green candle. When should I day trade a green candle instead of swinging it? Make sense? Think about it. If you guys didn't realize, I call BRKB at the almost near the wick of the candle. We got like almost Goldman Sachs. I wouldn't say Goldman Sachs. We didn't get it at the wick, but this is almost like next level day trading stuff. Next level. I don't even care about who did well on ER anymore. I'm like, dude, this is so easy. Think about this. You know that, okay, let's say this is a green candle. We know that's up, but I know that this one, hypothetically, I know that this one pulls back. I can wait till right here to buy and still make 100% instead of swinging it. Instead of I swing this, have a heart attack right now, right? Right? You know, bro, Billy, you know what I'm talking about, right? So, bro,
Sure.
Billy's, oh, where do you average down at, bro? You know, like you waking up, you're like, okay, you having that, right? Some we're gonna talk more about it. This because day trade potential. This is a no-no. This is what, and we're gonna isolate it, right? You remember, like, damn, bro. It took me a while to figure out. I said, dude, we could have made 100% just waiting till tomorrow, pull it at the buy it at the pullback. You know, it was just that easy. And this is and one key thing is I'll do more as time goes by, but use this process applicable to even bullish and golfing. Now, bullish and golfing is almost the same. Bullish and golfing is almost the same. Now bullish and golfing needs a separate class by itself because bullish and golfing has a lot of fakes. Now, one key thing is, if you guys know, I mean, I'm real close to Bro Willie. I'm real close to Bro Willie. Now, the other day, Bro Willie was asking me, he was saying that, Bro Leg, this hit my FIBO. You gonna take this? And I'm like, hell no. You know, and in my mind, I was like, hell to the no. All right. You know, yeah, because then I gave him spy calls and Amazon calls, right? And I said, go ahead and lock your gains, man. I'm like, dude, like what? I'm giving you like bangers, and I don't know, you're trying to set me up. I'm just joking. Now, he was like, bro, what are you? And then he asked me to get in first. He asked me to get in first. I said no. 2 days later, he asked me, where do you see it going? 260, bro. You know what I mean? Remember, he was trying to get 240 puts. I was like, and it was like around before it breaks out. So understand the candle, guys. This is the best thing. Honestly, candles, EMA is all you need, like to trade for the rest of your life now. And I would add like Bro Roy's, like RSI. Those three things. Learn the candles, learn where it goes. Is this candle a day trade watch list or a swing? There's only two options. Do you know that just trading candles and day trading candles, that's really all you need? So we're going to talk about the green candle first. Now I'm not going to talk about patterns. I'm going to talk about the uniqueness of certain outcomes. All right. So we're going to take like a 5 minute break, and then we're going to use the SPY. I'm going to use the SPY, and we're going to analyze all the green candles in the SPY. All right. And that way you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay. All right, guys, let's take a quick break, 5 minutes, and then we're gonna go back. Okay.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. We'll just keep it like this. Maybe some. Mhm.
Okay, so let's talk about the SPY. We're gonna use the weekly. It doesn't matter, right? I can tell you this. So when the candle is stacked like right to the red one, it's a day trade. It's not a swing. Just FYI. The probability of the next candle right here pulling back is high, right? So I have a low at somewhere between maybe a shake up somewhere between midweek. This probably could happen midweek, a shake down to like three. Now, if the market is trying to be bullish, it will push up another green like this, pulling back to right here about 399, right? So that's what this is the most common part of this candle. Now, if I were in the ticker, right, and I see this, how would I trade this? I would buy it on only on the pullback,
On the
right? Day
red.
trade it the next day. Be prepared for it because this is 100% move, depending, right? You guys remember, no joke. I'm talking about now. Keep in mind that even if it's not the odds of you, and then you could put a tight stop loss, a very tight stop loss right here. But this is the common, like this. You see how it pulls back, the little wick back. Now,
Hmm.
usually it either wick to the square. The base of that square is the area that you want to attack. If I have look at this, you see this?
Oh,
That's what I was talking about. Day trade potential. That's it at best, right here.
oh,
So this scenario is very rare, bro. It doesn't matter. Oh no. This is a weekly view. We're talking just about green hammers. So Jay Kush asked a great question. So you know how Jay Kush joke about like, damn, I wait till the next day to enter because now I know how to kind of distinguish them, which one's good, which one's kind of bad, which one's like, this is a LTB, right? So we had a LTB play last week. Some capitalized on it, some didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't scratch out the one because I didn't LTB that one. But still made good money on Goldman Sachs, right? Goldman Sachs was good money. Um, Now we're gonna go further and we're gonna like assess. I don't want you guys to mess with red hammers. Red hammers is also a day trade right here. Same thing, red hammers pull back if it's bullish. See, you see how the pullback pop. This is actually like what if you ODT trade this right here, and we're gonna make the assumption that this is Apple, right? This is Apple. This would have been like 100% move right here in Apple, right? Look at this, pull back to the side. Expect the pullback, right?
gotcha.
Now let's see if I can find any other ones on the. Let's switch to the daily view. All right, let's see if I can find any other, and we'll talk more about it. Same right here,
And
right.
him
Now
with that
this one,
next.
remember, right? This one when it's attached. Now I don't take these kind of trades anymore right here, like this. And some of you guys still call it out to me, and I kind of evolve, right? Because why? This one usually runs sideways, so this one's not a preferred selection for me anymore because I don't want to take risks just to rinse out and make 30%, 20, 30%. The only reason there will be times, and we're going to talk a little bit more about. I'm gonna have an option class. We're going to talk about like the drivers of key components of an option and assessing is it worth taking or not. The what is the risk involved? Now, when it comes to widespread, guys, and I'm a big fan of widespread, like in certain kind of tickers, keep in mind that whenever you want to put a stop loss on a widespread, start shaving off. start taking profits. Now, those widespread is kind of it take. We're gonna talk about the strategy, how to trade it. You're gonna have to kind of put a good to cancel sell. It's because Webull, if you use Webull, they do cheat a little bit. They're like, oh man, you don't even sell for break even in the midpoint, stuff like that. Especially, and it's really because you pick the liquidity and stuff like that. Okay. You Anybody have any questions? Same like here, right? This one's a gap down from here. Can you take in this? Yes. I don't mind swinging this one, right? I don't mind swinging this one right here.
Mm,
You see that? I don't mind swinging this little gap down from the five, right? You're right, and then you can kind of what I would recommend assessing. Use Bro Roy's 5 and 7, right? And then the 5-8 EMA crossover if you're going to continue to hold runners because look at this. It popped up, shake off, right? Took a little light, but it's all kind of trended up. And if you would have held, let's say for 2 weeks, it would have been a great payout, right? And you can kind of say where's the next sale area after the break, right here. One key thing is this: you're gonna start seeing me hold things longer, guys. Just FYI. I'm gonna say hold this, like right. Use your bet or let's rinse it out at open. Keep in mind, right? Could how many 200% gains that we could have had last week? Honestly, if we held, what we could have several. Like think about it. We could have had several 200% gainers. I'm just like because we're
right.
so I guess we're in a bear market frenzy, kind of like and you guys know what I'm talking about. Traders are kind of like, oh, we're in a bear market. What's a deal? Blah blah blah, stuff like that, right? Traders are kind of uneasy, especially the over. One key thing that I ask you guys, if you could, as we know who's new in the group, right? Who's new, who has knowledge, who doesn't. We all been there. If you guys could do me a favor to share what you know, assist when you can. Just keep in mind, originally I wasn't trying to pull like the people from TradeWorks over. I got a couple DMs say, bro, like, hey, hey, look, okay, let's sure. I can't invite all of TradeWorks over. That's not, so and this thing is kind of started more kind of like a trading school and stuff like that for the community, for the city and stuff. Okay, now this one right here. Let's look at the next candle, green hammer candle. I don't take this, right? Right. Don't take this or I don't day trade this. I don't take this or I don't day trade this. Right here. I'll let it go. Right. And there's going to be a ham. Look, this one. Let's look at this one. This one right here. Same thing. It kind of pull back first before it legs up. Now, this one right here is a toss up. When you see stuff like this, especially this magnitude, you just have to take it. I don't like it being clinged on. If I don't like it being cling on, but if I saw that the recent Klingon has failed, then this one will succeed. Anybody have any questions? Remember, I don't like to take this anymore. But if I see that this failed right here, it failed, it invalidated right here, right? And then it kind of gotten back out to its original spot. I don't want you guys to hold some of my positions longer than it should be. It should be averaged down one time, cut it. All right, moving forward, right? When you're in doubt, get rid of it first. That's the best thing I can tell you. Reason why is this, right? We have several people with really monster accounts, right? And they can average down a couple times before it really bugs them. Just keep that in mind. By the time they average down, they're, 3 times, 4 times, and stuff like that, you're like, damn, this guy's still in this? Oh yeah, I got out break even or whatever. That doesn't work in all cases. Just keep in mind. So just keep a rule with the swings, one average down, test it at the wick area of the candle. Let's say you got in early, test at the wick, and if you test it at the wick area of this candle, your cost will be like right here, right? Sort of right here. Could you get out within the next 2 days? Yes. Does it make sense? Let me know if I'm confusing anybody. This week ends in a candle. This is another one right here. Let's look at this one right here. So this one right here, right? We usually take this, right? So if you buy this right here, this candle right here, and this one's one of those where you have no choice but to buy it. If I buy it right here after noticing by the end of the day, the next day it ended right here. I'm already down like negative 20%, depending on the strike, right? Now, however, let's say that I average down, knowing that these two candles are still considered support right here, then I could get out the next day. Makes sense. So always one average down on all hammer candles. Now let's look at this hammer right here. This is a gap down, load the boat. Bam, bam, bam. Gap down to the 5, load the boat. LTB, right? This is the LTB. This right
See
here,
it?
say you guys see that? And this one right here, it pulls the back to the body. You see that? That's why I said moving forward, my day trading watch list will be green hammer candles. I say, look, we're gonna buy this at the pullback, and I don't even care what the news drop anymore. All right.
See,
And anybody have any questions?
wow. I'm gonna pull back.
No? Anybody? You guys sure? You guys understand what I'm saying? All right. So remember, most candles now most green candles are right. That's what I'm trying to explain so that everybody see the difference of it, bro, Roy. You see what I'm saying? I don't like the ones attached to it. Like this one, when it's attached like this, that's not my style, right? Red ones generally have pullbacks, generally. Now, everything is a probability game, guys. So, what's the probability of losing this candle is like 1%. 1%. What's the probability of losing this candle? Also, like by 1 or 2. It's rare. It's a matter of how great the entries are. Did you nail the entries on the mark? Can this pop up right here and not pull back? Absolutely. Right. And you just have to be mindful, like, hey, look, now, let's look at the SPY weekly, and I'm going to draw it out again, right? Now, remember, I want you guys to definitely look at the inverses, right? And I'll tell you guys. So this one, let's look at the scenario. That's why I said it can pull back right here, and it legs up. That's the most common right here. Pull back, legs up, and they'll lead to something like this. Now, if it pops up first right here and it rejects back like this, then you know that next week is bearish. And this is beginning of the week strength, beginning of the week, meaning that it hits strength first, and it'll fade Wednesday to Friday. Okay, anybody have any questions? And then same thing. I gave you guys the scenario. Let's look at the possible scenarios of this candle. It can open above here, 404, run all the way to this right here, right? It can run all the way to like the top of right here, 413. So a scenario one would be, let's draw all the scenarios right here. S1, right? Pull back early week. Remember, they want a weekly view, so it doesn't matter. Just kind of change it and make it applicable. Uh, um, S1 would be pull back early week, Monday, Tuesday, 399. All right, to 398. Buy the dip, buy buy the dip, right? Tight stop loss, right? Tight stop because we're right, and we're with the tight stop at about 390. Let's do 396.75, right? Targeting, right? Back to where 402.65, 407, let's put 407, and up to 413 if it's like a monster catalyst. Now I'm not expecting a monster catalyst, just a little shake and bake. All right, that's scenario one. All right, if I have any questions, I'm gonna post this in the thing, right? I'm gonna leave that right here. That is scenario one, and this would be, let me draw like this. I'm gonna stack the candles sideways so you guys see. Forgive like the right, and another one, right? And guess what? When it does this, it's probably going to be a sideway up, the same thing. This is also, remember, the most important data is not until week 3, week 4. So let's talk about scenario two. Scenario two, S2. Um, early week strength, early week strength, meaning that Monday, Tuesday is going to combine to be bullish, and followed by end of the week continuation. We're gonna, right, and it'll be uh to 407 to 413. This is the best bullish case for the week. And then if it breaks here, 418. All right. Scenario three. It hits this one, early week weakness, a red candle, red or green, right? Most likely red, right? So, but just assume that this is red. So scenario three, all scenarios calls for a higher high. Does it make sense with everyone? Now, keep in mind that remember that the seven crosses the five here, and then what? You can tell the EMA five crossed the EMA eight right here. Let me show you. Remember what I told you guys, right here. You mark this. I'm gonna screenshot this and put this in the. So I'll move it right here at the candle. You got eight. Five is greater than eight. You got seven is greater than 14. All right, everybody see that. So
Right.
all odds are is going to go higher. Now, how high is the question? We're short-term traders. We're going to take it like a day at a time. Makes sense? A day at a time, week at a time, right? So I'm gonna put scenario three, early week strength, right? Followed by end of week weakness. Now, anybody have any questions? I'm gonna post this into
It's,
our thing, right?
it's 14.
So, and then this is a red can. I'm gonna screenshot this and I'm gonna post it in our class, in the classroom for review, so that you guys can study it and practice. Now, one key thing is this. If you want to practice this, what I'll recommend is this. Hey, bro, is this a day trade one tomorrow or is it ready? Make sense? Just to identify it. Just FYI, if you want to help. Now, the more the one person can only do so much. Just FYI. If you think about it, if you guys like stumble upon it, I would kind of like say, hey, bro, is this good? So I'm gonna post this right now into our classroom. One
Mm,
second. One second.
pretty cool. Ah,
Okay, so the next one is going to be real different, right? I need to go to Best Buy buy an adapter for one of my monitors to connect. So we're going to talk about the intraday, right? And I'm gonna tie this all into uh, I'm going to tie this all into what our expectations are for the week. Can everybody see this right here? And I'm about to type this all out right now. Right? Can everybody see this? Let's go to the classroom chat. You guys can see my Discord, right? Everybody can see my Discord. Yes or no? Yes. As you can see, that I'm only in one Discord. This one is I wouldn't say that count, right? Eliminate this is the first thing you want to do. Eliminate your loose ends. Make sense? Not every Discord provides like value for you. Block out the noise, do what you gotta do. And I, I notice like when and I'm just focused on one, I'm not swayed by anything. So there's only a couple people that can sway me. Now let's look at this right here, and I'm gonna type out the notes. I'm gonna type out the notes for right here. So let's assess, right? Remember, this is intraday for the week, upcoming week. What edge do I see, right? Right now, if this wasn't black right here, I see a pull up right here, and it could possibly be well a pull. However, we had holidays here that skew the data, so I don't count this. So that's why I said Monday. I told you guys I have no distinct edge, right? Remember, I said that it's been gap down red for a while. Look at this, that we were overdue, and we had a gap up hard, right? We had a gap up hard over the weekend from that green hammer candle, right? Paying attention to this first helps you how to position yourselves on the swings, right? I put a lot of weight into this. Like, okay, you know what? We need to be in calls, man. I don't care what the hammer says. Like, I put this over the candles. Now the only way the candles would win is uh, a one, a one in the market. So let's say that I have four reds, but it's like a one calling for continuation red. I really just let it go. I'm like, nah, I'll go small, right? So first thing is let's talk about there's four key things. There's down, green, straight, and gap up hard, gap up red, right? The down and green means that that section is about negative zero point 0.3 to positive zero point 0.3, right? So let me note this so you guys see. All right, let me note this so you guys see. So straight, keep it with the straight, right? It means that from negative point, negative point plus or minus. All right, self-explanatory. Remember, this is for the intraday. Sorry about the kind of right. The word straight. All right. Now we're talking about the word green, green and down. When you see me saying that, look, I'm showing it to you guys. It means that what? Negative. This one would be 0.3, 0.3% plus or minus. Right. Right. Gap down hard or up. Gap down or gap up or down hard. Right. Gap up or down hard. This means that greater than zero point 0.5, right? 0.5 plus or minus. Anybody have any questions before I explain the next step, this step? And the next step is I'm not going to type it out. Those are the scenarios. So the next one you want to maybe write this down because I'm not going to type all of this out. Okay. Any for let's talk about the basic straight, right? Let's talk about the hardest, the easiest one. Any gap down hard twice, right here, twice. Two, generally
Three.
two, right?
Oh,
This one has like about let's say about a 65, 70% that the next one won't be at that section, at
oh
that
no.
section. About 65, 70%. It's not like impossible, guys. It just means that it's a probability, right? So when I trade around that block, I'm very cautious, right? And sometimes you guys see me get murdered. I do get murdered, like because this shows me, this makes me consistent. I won't win everything. I know that we won't hit everything. Now, for this, now that's it for green. Green, usually the 60, okay, let's do the gap down hard, right? Let's do it like this, right? Two in a row. Let's say this, let's mark this as 65 to 70%. It'll flip, right? And what I mean by flip is it could be a straight, it could be green. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be green. It could be a straight flat for that time period. Two in a row. Three in a row increases your chance to 85%. Will our size or heavier on it? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. Four in a row, right? Let's put four in a row at 95%, right? I'm not gonna say there's nothing perfect. I have never saw four in a row failed. Gap, when we're talking about the gap down hard or gap up hard. You guys got that? Anybody? You might want to
Yeah.
write this down, guys. All right. Might want to write this down, okay? All right. Now let's go to the green. Green and down, right?
Yeah.
So this is the green, green and down, right? Usually three, right? And we talk about combinations too. And we're gonna go back and then look at it again. Three in a row, 75%, right? That they'll flip. Three in a row, both about 75%. Four in a row, and put out like about 90%. Five, rare. It happens, but rare. We're gonna put this almost at like 99%. Like how we were talking about Fridays. Remember I said, guys, it's been 5 times in a row. I have always seen this flip since I started this. All right, you might want to write that down. And now, once you write that down, we're going to analyze it, right? How do I analyze next week with this accordingly? So Monday, because of the blackout holidays, there's no distinct edge. That's why I said, look, Monday's just kind of watch and play. Might kind of day trade some hammers, set up some hammers. Now Tuesday right now, I had a gap down hard, down hard, right? And it's straight. Did it reset this? Yes, but historically Tuesday's been kind of weak. Never a gap up hard green. Now, what would push me to go swing over the weekend? If we get a gap up hard here, I'm not sure we're gonna get a. We could get a gap up green, a small green here. If we get a flush, I might be more inclined to take right here. But right now, I don't like this setup right here. Right, it's not like full down right here. It could kind of be green straight right here over here. It could start being green straight here. This one gap up hard. Like I said, this is not no distinct edge right here. All right. Anybody have any questions? Now this one right here, 4 in a row. Now if this black wasn't here, then it'd be a 90% chance. A gap up green hard and green. Let's assume this is about 60%, right? 60. Now if it's a gap up hard, it's the probability is higher. See, green is enough to flip. Anybody have any questions? We're talking about Monday and Tuesday. So no really distinct edge. No really distinct edge on Monday and Tuesday. Holidays, right? If there's missing one, it's a holiday. This is a holiday. Monday's the only one that has the blackout, except Thanksgiving and Christmas. Depending on where it falls in for trading calendar. Okay. Anybody else have any question? That's a good question. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Now let's go to the next one. Right. Wednesday. Right. All right. What do you see? This is a possibility right here. Wednesday flush. Right? Gap up hard didn't flip. That was a third green. So the what? There's a what? Roughly, and
Straight.
what did I say? Combination, right? 3 in a row, right? Yeah, I have to do a combination one, but this is a real strong kind of combination. I say anywhere between 75 to 85%. There's a possible flush right here. Possible flush. So I would have possible sell off. Be prepared. Possible sell off Wednesday. That means that what? If you're day trading calls, you might want to have a tight stop loss, right? If you're still trying to, right? Now, I'm not saying that, but possible sell off power hour, right? Flush into it. That's power hour. The last block is power hour. Don't, yeah, don't, guys. Remember, everything I do is probability, guys. That's it. Probability. I'm just trading the odds. I'm not, you're not going to hit everything, guys. I mean, last week was phenomenal, to be honest. I was even examining the one that now for day trading, I'm only calling the hammers and the wick and stuff like that. And I like to trade those more than I like to trade ER plays now. I just feel like it's a lot safer. I know what to expect, stuff like that. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions? Now let's look at Thursday. Thursday, look at this. 1, 2, 3, right?
Uh-huh.
And look, this is interesting. Okay, this is overnight pre-market. Overnight pre-market. First 30 minutes of open, the next 2 hours, the next 3 hours. That's why I say I don't like to trade around these time. There's the volume, people go to lunch, last hour, power hour. So first block one is overnight and pre-market. Block two, the first 30 minutes of open. And Alex asked a great question. You might want to write this down too, guys, right? Block three, right? Roughly what? From about 10, 11 a.m., 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. to 12. 12 p.m.
Kulisani kwenda unaona klasi yote
And then
tunaona
block three.
tunaona tuna meta one break so ta
So
meta
guys, can you guys
la
mute?
la من كورس بلا أنا بلا
And this is to 2 p.m.
أنت نحن على اليوم نبرة جام فون
All right, block four power hour, right? And the
عندنا
times are reported in
ذكر في الجنسكا
1, 2, 3, 5. I'm sorry.
مكروني
One,
وجاجة ليش
one,
أنا بتلات
two.
ما تتكلم اللي جام فون
All right,
مكروني
thanks, bro.
وجاجة كذا كانوا سان ده شيء لا مو
All
كوسب
right,
جام
peace.
فون
Hey, cats,
لكن بستايم
we can hear you, cats.
All right, all right, guys, remember. All right. I don't mind. It's a small class, but this is like real important because I'm not gonna keep explaining this over and over. Now this one right here. Thinking now this one. Let's talk about the gap down hard right here. There's not two gap down hard. It's not a down hard. What edge do I put out of here? This is a good question. You guys see this right here. Right now, this is sitting at 55% could open green. 55% could open green. What would increase the chances of this, right? If, well, let me show you. Monday and Tuesday, we get an open sell off. We get a sell off right here, sell off right here. This 55% green possible flip has bumped up to at least 70%. The first chance that right. Remember, market will try to fake you. Like, oh yeah, bam, got you, bam, got you. Third time, makes sense. Now this one's gonna be kind of coincide like small green, moderate green sell off, or like let's do this: small green sell off, small green sell off, small green. Guess what? This is pump. Make sense? It takes a while, guys. You're not going to get it overnight. You're going to have to keep working at it. Oh, I see what he's saying. Filling out. I mean, it took some. Um. Now I don't do the forecasting sheet a lot more now because I'm so used to it and I can spot check it. Are you the same, bro, J Cooch? Like the same? Or you still use that sheet? I can just spot check. Like, yeah, we're going higher tomorrow. Just and then it's a matter of where. What's the next resistance? What's the next support? What area? Right. Um. Now let's look at Thursday. I highlighted yellow, possible edge right here, right? Possible edge, flip, possible push right here. It all depends, right? Now, most likely what I see is this day and this day is not the same. So if I see a pump here, the likelihood of selling off is a little bit higher or slow down. Now, keep in mind, guys, the gap down only means that it's going to drop negative -0.5. 0.5. That's it. I don't want you guys to get confused. Make sense? That's why when I say something is a flush, I'm talking about negative -0.5. Negative -0.5 is not a lot. It is a lot, but it's not really a lot. Just kind of keep that in mind. All right. Now let's look at 4. Friday. Now Friday, gap up hard, green, green, green. Right. Now remember I told you guys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Never has a 5 combination not flip. Never. Right, never. You see this? That's why I got caught sometimes. I'm like, oh, it's 4 times already. Goddamn, you only reach 5 like twice. Now, historically, since I did the sheet since last August, it had reached 5 only 3 times. Only 3 times. That's how rare it is. Always flip on the 5. Anybody have any questions? Like this right here, gap up ahead, supposed to flip, didn't. This increased the probability of next time. Bam. Makes sense? Same thing. 1, 2, 3, this flip. Right? 1, 2, 3, this flip. Makes sense. Everything's like this. So we know that this is not going to repeat this Friday. I mean, you're crazy if you think this is going to repeat. The key thing is there a possible sell-off right here? Yes, it is now. Look at this. So this is the odds is really high. 90% we get a fade right now.
God.
All right, on Friday. So Friday, and I'll keep you guys posted. Friday, 90% a fade after lunch. So I don't know. I don't know if the Fed is speaking right that time. Do we have any report? Yellen come out, Biden coming out, but 90% of the time after lunch around we're gonna have some kind of a little bit kind of sell off. To what magnitude, I'm not sure. So let's look at Friday again, right? Let's take a look at Friday again. Friday is green, 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 right here. I can't make this up, right? Green, green, straight. So what can we identify about this Friday? Let me show you guys a trick. Given that you know this right now, everybody, right? This is for those that are on. Do you believe that we'll have a repeat?
No.
Right? Okay. Now I'm about to test your knowledge. Okay, this is to Bro Roy, right? I'm gonna pick on Bro Roy now. Now let's go back to the spy scenarios. Watch this. Which scenario you think is gonna be?
Spargo blower.
S1, S2, or S3? S3, right? The one that nobody's thinking about, right? Who would even think that right now? Think about it. Who would think early week strength, end of the week weakness? So
Yeah.
make sense with it, you guys? This is very important, guys. This is an advanced class, guys. A very advanced. Very advanced class, and the key thing is those that been with me a while. Billy's still fairly new, so he was like, "Damn, that's sick." How he just kind of tied it all together. You see that? He's probably thinking about, "Damn, that's sick." How he tied it all together, because it's the. But those that been with me a while, that was like the cliffhanger. Like, wow, you guys see how I tie that into that, right? The likelihood of it is rare. All right,
Wow.
right. Anybody have any questions? That's pretty much the end of the class, guys. Now,
Thanks.
now keep in mind, Trinity is fairly new with the group, and Annie, if you guys can help them, remember, guys, last thing I want is for them to be in a trade and they're wondering should I exit or not. Help them maximize profit and stuff. Some of them are still trying to recover, stuff like that. Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Thanks.
We should all have a common interest, guys. Now, eventually, this is the thing, guys. I'm going to be honest. Well, eventually, when I roll this out, it's either and this is not meant to be like honestly like my intent is not to it's more like a trading school. Okay, now after showing that, you see that now. All right, that's pretty much all I have. Hopefully you guys enjoy this class. The next week I'll do a different candle and the scenarios, and we're going to talk about day trading candles, right? Day trading, how we create a day trading watch list, right, for candles. How do we create our day trading watch list off of the hammer? Right now it's just and other candles. All right, guys, have a great rest of your weekend.